got another challenge lock clamped up in the vise for you today. This one might be a long one. I've picked this lock a couple of times already, and it turns out to be marathon picks. I mean, picks that take over 20 minutes to get into the lock. Hopefully I've picked it a couple of times, and hopefully I've gotten the time down a little bit. That way we can fit it in the video. But if I don't, I'm just going to leave the camera rolling the whole time, and I'll just fast forward through parts of the video just to make it to where I don't bore the crap out of you guys just by picking this thing. But I think my biggest hang up on this lock is, I swear to God, I think Harley stuck, springs off of his car suspension and stuck in here, because this thing has already mauled one of my picks. It was getting old, but well. And I severely bent another pick on it, so pretty heavy springs, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, enough gabbing. Let's try to get into this thing. And Harley, thanks for the lock. This one has been a challenge for sure. I want to start with the top of the keyway tension. Make sure it's good and locked. And I'm going to use a short homemade hook. And I'm going to go in with really light to medium tension. Okay. I just touched pin 6 and got a slight turn on the core. Okay, I had a little bit of feedback on pin 5. And I've got a little bit of feedback on pin 1. But I believe I was getting a little bit more feedback on 5. So what I got to do with 5, or maybe that's pin 4. Let me get back under. Release tension and just bring them up a little bit. Okay, I got my false set back. Okay, I don't have any counter on 1. I've got counter on 2. I've lost my false set. And everything went springy. So I guess I overset pin 2 when I got my counter on it. Okay, pin 5 is back down. And I've got counter on pin 2 again. Okay. Now I've lost my false set again, but I just got it back off of 6. I swear I'm playing like pool ping pong with this thing, but this MX lock must have pretty darn good tolerances. And now I don't have any feedback whatsoever. Let me switch to a taller pick. Got a little feedback off of pin 6. Got a little counter rotation there. Okay. I click and I have my false set back. I'm just dancing on all the pins back and forth. Okay, I've lost all feedback. Okay, nothing on pin 1. Nothing on 2. Nothing on 3. Nothing on 4. And my thumb's resting there. I'm not even putting any tension on it. Nothing on 5. Nothing on 6. I mean, flat out the deadest core right now out of any lock I've ever picked. Oh, wait a minute. We just got it. Oh, that's the quickest pick I've ever gotten on this thing. Oh, man. Harley. Great lock, buddy. I mean, I was literally pulling my hair out on this thing. Because I would get to where I had that dead core, then finally get a little feedback, set it, drop half the pins that I've set, and god dang, that wasn't a marathon pick. I'm so happy. Let's go ahead and cut it. Okay, I need my shims, which are right here, blind as a bat. Hello, shim. Why don't you go on in there? Am I even going to be able to shim this thing? This thing must have some really decent tolerances. There must be a really sharp T-pin right there, because I cannot get past it with my shim. And I just broke my shim. Let's try a different shim, shall we? Okay, I think I pulled it in at an angle and got her in there. Man, powerful spring pushing down on that too would really keep me from getting the shim in. A little bit tight getting my follower in there, so definitely not a whole lot of room there. Okay, so there's a little bit of WD-40 on there. Looks like all the pins are pretty well below the shear line. A heavily serrated pin on 1. A serrated pin on 2, a serrated pin on 3, a serrated pin on 4, a standard pin on 5, and a single serration on 6. Let's go ahead and look at the core. Guys, I don't see any modifications in there. Maybe, wait a minute. Let's see here. See a little shadow. No, I guess that must be like a shadow from like the grease or oil or whatever that's in it. Alright, so let's see what kind of magic we've got up top here. I can tell one is a pin and pin. And I'll zoom in on these two. I'm going to go ahead and take these springs out too. Because I think he did something crazy with some of these springs. I got a spool with a serration. And the serration's actually in the inside part of the spool. Okay, I got a different type of spring in 2 than we had in 1. I've got a single, well, double serration. And I've got a copper spring. And stand by it, folks. That key pin number 2 just landed in my lap. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I got another T-pin or pin and pin. We'll see in a second. Okay, I got another different type of spring there. That one was under some spring pressure. If I didn't have my... And it is a inverted pin and pin with a T-pin bottom. So let me... double spring coiled together. And that last one just kind of shot out, so... I imagine it was probably in as a T-pin, knowing Harley. Let's see if he did anything to the top. It didn't look like he was into it, so... That all looks nice and shiny and standard. Alright, so let's not dilly around. Let me show you the pins. Okay, I've got a pin with a lot of really sharp, fine serrations on one. Really well made. I've got a pin and pin on two, and it's serrated, and the internal pin is also serrated. I've got a serrated key pin with a spool, and it has a serration in the middle. I've got a serrated driver, or key pin, with a serrated driver, and it's got a little bit wider serration than a real fine serration. Really nice detail work. And I've got this one here, it's a double serrated. Then this one, I thought maybe it was a pin and pin, but no, it's a serrated wedding cake pin. Then a standard. Above it, I've got, it's almost like a wedding cake pin. You can see that extra little ridge on there, or it could be a little serration. But it is definitely a T-pin, so, and it has this serration serrated above it. And in the last one, we've got a, what in the world is that in the middle there? I've got a serrated. Let me zoom in on this in a little bit, maybe. Come on, phone, focus. There we go. What in the world is that in there? That is like a little bitty ring that fits inside of that serration. I don't know if that's an artifact left over of making the pin or if that was intentional, but if that was intentional, man, props. And then this is a really beautiful pin up here. This is a step-down spool with a serrated, and then it's a wedding cake on the bottom. But I think one of the biggest things that was holding me up was right here in chamber 5, combined with chamber 2. Chamber 5 has a double spring coiled together, and that was creating a lot of downforce. So much it was a lot to overcome that. And, you know, like I said, I've picked this lock open a couple of times, and I kind of already had the feel of it. But we've got a steel spring here, a different style of steel spring here, a copper spring, another different style of steel spring, the double spring, and then the same style of steel spring here as we had over here in 4. And that was a great lock. If I can get this off easily, we're going to show you the key. If not, I'll leave that for somebody else to do. That ain't coming off, guys, so we're not going to show you the key. Anyway, Harley, thanks for the awesome lock. This guy was a beast, and I think I have a lot fewer hair left on my head because of it. Everyone else, please stay safe. Don't do anything illegal, and please like and subscribe.